yourself. Okay. Have you ever heard these quotes? Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. You never fail until you stop trying. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you probably don't really understand it yourself. Would it surprise you to learn that the author of these quotes is considered one of the most influential scientists of the 20th century? Would it surprise you to know the man who said a clever person solves a problem, a wise man avoids the problem, and who also said never memorize something that you can look up, was the man who developed the special and general theories of relativity and won the Nobel Prize for Physics. Albert Einstein is the one credited for saying these famous statements. Albert Einstein, who was famous for his theory of relativity, he was born in Germany in 1879 to middle-class Jewish parents. His father was an electrochemical factory owner, and his mother was a stay-at-home mom and raised Albert and his sister Maria. Supposedly, Einstein did not start talking until he was 4 years old, and until he was 7, he would just repeat words and sentences over and over again. It's even been said that his grandmother would call him stupid. When Einstein was 5, his father gave him a compass. He was so obsessed with trying to figure out why the compass needle on the compass always pointed north, and he knew that nothing like the wind or anything was moving it because it was enclosed in a case. But his fascination with the compass needle is what started his desire to learn about invisible forces and to study the world of science and mathematics. According to the article in Encyclopedia Britannica, young Albert's family were not fully committed Jews, but when he was 12, he became deeply religious, and he loved playing the violin. He began composing songs to praise God, and he would chant songs like on the way to school to praise God. His religious beliefs were challenged when he began to read science books because he was so smart that he had to make sense of everything, so faith really didn't make sense to him. So he began to question authority like God and his principal, anybody that was over him, which led him to get in a lot of trouble at school. And he believed like the strict school where he was attending was crushing his creativity, so he later dropped out of school when he was 15. And one of his teachers told him that he would never amount to anything, just like his grandmother did. But when Einstein was 16, he wrote his first paper on magnetic fields. When he was 17, he was admitted to a college in Switzerland where he met his first wife, Mileva. According to an article in Nature, Mileva and Albert were inseparable, and it's also believed that Mileva had a big role in his success. Albert's father insisted that he had a job before he got married. He had trouble finding a job, and he sensed it was because he was Jewish, like at that time period, like Nazis and the World War II. He finally got a job at a patent office in Switzerland, and patent office is like new inventions, and so he got to see what everybody was doing. During the early 1900s, while he was working at the patent office, he discovered that tiny particles that form objects can turn into energy. So he came up with the famous formula E equals mc squared, which means the mass of an object, energy equals the mass of an object multiplied by the speed of light squared. In 1919, he became a celebrity when the solar eclipse supported his general theory of relativity idea. In 1921, he won the Nobel Prize for Physics for explaining how electrons work under certain circumstances. During World War II, Einstein didn't agree with how Hitler was running things in Germany, so he moved to New Jersey, the US. During World War II, he wrote a letter to President Franklin Roosevelt warning him that the Nazis were about to develop the first atomic bomb using uranium. So he got the president to start a nuclear research project. And that research project was known as the Manhattan Project. and it was the reason why U.S. was the first and only country to have nuclear weapons during the war. In 1955, he died in New Jersey due to heart failure at the age of 76, and that's what I got. How long was it, Lauren?